K-Flock has made it, and he isn't afraid to show off the perks of his success. I mean, not every boyfriend gets to drop a literal bag on an entire Amari store to impress his boo. And he's also more than willing to throw down a few $100s on single shot outfits for himself and his sister. And of course, no spectacular fit is complete without a little ice to go along with it, and K picked himself up a ritzy Cartier watch that probably makes him something of a driving hazard on a really bright sunny day. There's also that expensive BMW that he's been spotted driving around the Bronx City streets in. There are few hotter musical genres right now than Bronx drill, and perhaps no artist personifies the movement better than K-Flock. Flock came up alongside his buddies B-Love and Dougie B, but he's managed to separate himself from the pack as songs like Being Honest, Is You Ready, and PSA have steadily climbed further and further up the streaming charts. In fact, in just over a year of making music, K-Flock has already created over half a dozen hit songs, all of which have well over 1 million views over on his YouTube channel. But are those streaming numbers turning K-Flock into a multi-millionaire? Well, that's where this story gets a little bit more complicated. There's no doubt that your boy likes to flex a lot of cash over on social media. But net worth sites like Pnoble have his current bank account estimated to be sitting at a rather low $100,000. Still, other sites like News Finale are a little bit more generous and take aim that K-Flock is really worth somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 million to 5 million. Personally, I think both estimates are a little off, but we'll get into reasons for that as we explore how K-Flock currently gets his bag, which comes mainly from music. This artist is still so fresh to the game that he has yet to diversify into any other revenue streams, but let's be honest, it's only a matter of time until he does. So without much further ado, let's get into the rich life of the Bronx hottest new rapper, K-Flock. Believe it or not, but K-Flock has really only been making music for the past year and a half. Back in his early days, K would partner up with a couple other rappers from the same area, B-Love and Dougie B. They aspired to make music, but more often than not, these three found themselves hustling on the streets more than anything else. It wasn't until both K-Flock and Dougie B found themselves locked up when things began to change. With his buddies out of his life, B-Love hunkered down and got serious about his music, which then almost immediately began to take off. From the inside, his two good friends watched it happen.
Yeah, my man's a rapper, so I'm like, wait till you come on, you gonna see what I'm booked, feel me? I'm booked, like, I'm getting, feel me? He telling me, like, yo, it's up right now, like, I'm getting my, feel me? Telling my mom, like, yo, mom, check K, like, check the YouTube shit, like, see
that 1 million views in less than like a
right
month.
before I come home, you know, I get, like, feel me? I got to get, feel me? When I was in some program shit, they get them doing the YouTube shit, I seen this. I'm like, I seen him too, I'm like, nah.
K-Flock was the first to get out, and as soon as he did, he got to work in the studio alongside B-Love. By this point, it was already well into 2020, and lockdown had set in. Meaning K had nothing but free time on his hands to get to work. His first track dropped in May of that year was called FTO. The song was a pretty big hit and got his career off on the right track, but it would be his next single, Op Spotter, featuring B-Love, that would blow up past the 1 million views mark. More singles like Pop Out and Speed Racing would follow, and then upon Dougie B's release, all three friends linked up for their mammoth success, Brotherly Love. Since then, K's had two further gigantic hits with Is You Ready and Being Honest. And if you look super close at the fine print in the detail sections of the latter video, you'll see that the song is currently licensed by Universal Music Group via Capitol Records. This means that even though it hasn't been officially announced in any capacity that I could find, it seems like K-Flock has teamed up with Universal and Capitol for his distribution and label. He was also spotted in Florida lounging at a nearby pool not too long ago when he was rumored to be in negotiations with different labels. As a signee to Capitol, K-Flock will have to start sharing the profits of his hard work to the tune of around 15% of the total revenue that he generates. The good news is that he's also no doubt qualified for a signing bonus, probably somewhere in the high six-figure range for someone with this level of experience and success. That might help explain all the cash he's always flashing on the gram. Outside of his deal with Capitol, the one other thing that we know for sure about K-Flock's influx of cash is that with all the success he's been a part of recently, he's decided to up his feature fee to a massive sum. How large? To a sum of $20,000 a verse. Alright, now that we have an idea of how K-Flock has made his money over the past year, let's take a look at how he's been spending it. Cruising over K-Flock's Instagram and social media feeds, around the time he signed a record deal, he started spoiling all the important people in his life. First, he picked up his baby sister a pretty in pink tracksuit for her birthday. It's created by the brand Off-White Kids and can retail for as much as $350. I didn't even know Off-White Kids was a brand. But that smile that's on his sister's face can tell us it's worth every penny. Well, if I'm being really honest, it's probably all the cash in her hand that's got her smiling that big. But hey, that tracksuit is pretty nice too. Speaking of gifts, Kay was also clever enough to drop a boatload of money on an Amiri shopping spree for his girlfriend. And for just one pair of those jeans, you're looking at probably around $1,200. By my count, Kay bought his gal at least 3 pairs there. Each one of those sweaters roughly retails for the same amount, while the shoes can still sell for just under $1,000 each. $1,000 shoes, yes. When you're K-Flock, you got it like that, I guess. In other words, K-Flock reportedly spent somewhere around $15,000 on everything you see here. And if you ask me, that's how you know Kay recently spent a lot of time in the slammer. You know, away from women, you know. Can't make that mistake again. Of course, K-Flock isn't afraid to spend a pretty penny on fashionable fits for himself either. For instance, take a look at his Chrome Heart sweatshirt that you can pick up for yourself for a cool $900 or so. But when Kay really wants to dip into his savings to spend more money on himself, he likes to head over to his closest ICE retailer and pick himself up some truly unique pieces like this gorgeous Cartier watch that's surrounded on all sides by more diamonds than I could possibly count. For those of you wondering, yes, that's a $23,000 timekeeper that contains 28 carats in diamonds. My best guess, every time Kay looks down at his wrists, it's not the time that he's looking at. Finally, we all know the Big Apple is the city that never sleeps, so K-Flock needs himself a whip to cruise around town and celebrate all of his massive accomplishments in. And what kind of better car is there to be seen driving around New York City in than a $70,000 BMW M4? The 2021 model is the second generation of this widely popular whip, and it comes with a 3-liter turbocharged engine that produces over 473 horsepower that can achieve 0 to 60 in just 4.1 seconds. Talking about fast.
I'm fastest, boy.
On the interior, it also features a 10-inch touchscreen interface as well as a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster to display all of your vital navigation information. Alright guys, that's going to bring this most recent rich life to an end. What did you guys think of K-Flock's suddenly new lifestyle? Do any of his net worth estimates make more sense to you now? I mean, my best guess is that Kay's actual net worth is resting somewhere under 7 figures, but considering how new this kid is, by the end of the calendar year, that could no doubt have increased significantly. Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. My name is Clyde Smith, and I'll see you guys in another video.